Yes, folks, hello, welcome once again to Mod Extra Games and Collectibles. I'm Chris, this is my channel. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with me here today for another installment of...
Listen to your friend Chris,
in which I invite you to listen to me, your friend Chris, talk about my life and times as an adult collector. And the bare bones essential, if you're new around these parts, is that I keep an eye out for things in adult collectible news that catches my eye. I drop it on an iPad whiteboard, which I'll be showing you imminently. I talk through it, offer some thoughts, some reflections, some commentary on that news, and then invite you to head down to the comments below and share your thoughts and commentary and reflections on said items that I will be sharing. We're into March now. It's right on the cusp of March, and I'm a little bit behind this week, so I'm probably covering about 2 weeks worth of stuff that's built up. So let's jump on over to the iPad whiteboard screen and take a look at what I got for you. All right, and I'm going to get started with the Loose Collector Rob Liefeld collaboration with a couple of Bloodstrike figures. Zoom out, there you go. Couple of Bloodstrike figures. We've got, in fact, let's not zoom out, let's get nice and close and have a look. We have got Bloodhound and Cabot Stone there, which are just glorious celebrations of 90s extreme. Look at these bad boys. They look incredible. They've pissed me off a little bit, actually. I have to confess, I'm a bit annoyed about these figures. Let me explain why. It's completely unreasonable. Because I was never a big fan of Bloodstrike in the 90s. In fact, this may be considered controversial by some. I'm not that big of a Rob Liefeld fan, to be perfectly honest. You know, I was a big X-Men reader during the 90s, and I did not enjoy his artwork anywhere near as much, you know, on his X-Force stuff as I did, say, Jim Lee on the main X-Men titles. So I was never the biggest fan of his stuff, but these two figures look really good, don't they? I think they look really good. I mean, let's go in for a closer look on Cabot, shall we? So here's some of the promo. There's one of the promo shots of Cabot there. Massive, extraordinarily oversized, you know, 90s comic book Rob Liefeld style cannon. The hair flapping, you know, the big ponytail flapping in the wind. He's got pouches and straps and grenades and things attached to him all over, just really singing from the 90s comic book hymn sheet, you know what I mean? Just looks really awesome. Let's have a closer look at this one here of him just sort of standing in profile there. Look at that, amazing. Look at the sculpted detail in here as well, like down on the boots there with all the buckles and straps and the steel toe caps. Look at the studs painted in on his pouches and the buckles painted in on the random wrist straps. Why do you need 3 wrist straps like that round your bracer? I don't know. But yeah, all the lovely paint application details. The head sculpt looks amazing, just really awesome. And he's loaded up with stuff. Look at all that he's loaded up with. He's got 2 big 90s style laser cannons, a big 90s style pistol, a big 90s style rifle, loads of hand swaps, the dagger, the head swaps, loaded up with stuff. And Bloodhound's the same as well. Let's go down and have a look at his promo picture. Look at this here. Outstanding, again, to repeat my amazing sentence. An absolute celebration of 90s extreme there. But look at the sculpting, like on the hair sculpt and the sideburns and the paint applications with the face paint and the sculpting down the arms with his fuzzy bits. Awesome. All the little studs and buckles all painted in, the steel toe caps. Look at the damage and kind of life that has been seen by those knee pads. Really awesome figures. Just absolutely outstanding. Again, loaded up with stuff. Big old 90s style cannons, a plethora of hand swaps, just really excellent. A head swap. Like, every figure should just come with a head swap and hand swaps as standard. I mean, I know it'd probably fire the price up, but, you know, here he is, little nice cool Bloodwolf kind of stylish walking shot. That little bike thing in the background's caught my eye. Is that a thing? Is that available, or is that, you know, I don't know. Does anyone know whether you can get that? I would use that for other stuff. But yeah, these have pissed me off completely unreasonably because I don't like Bloodstrike. I don't like Rob Liefeld. But these figures have really caught my eye. However, I've had to draw a line and say no because they're up on Big Bad Toy Store right now and they're $75 a piece, which I can kind of sort of understand for the sculpting quality that's in there. I haven't had much experience of Loose Collector in my hand. I've never had a Red Sonja, or is it Lady Death, was that Loose Collector, all that kind of stuff. Never had one in hand to know what they feel like, so I'd be going in blind, and that feels a bit heavy a bit of a heavy price tag to go in completely blind on there. I've not seen them anywhere else either. I don't know if they're a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. I'll make sure there's a link to it in the comments down below for anyone who is interested. But as much as they've caught my eye, I mean, that cupboard looks awesome. Here's a fun fact for you, though. I was looking around. I did a Google image search using the digital render here. I did a Google image search using the digital render, looking for any other information or additional promotional photos. These are all the ones that were on Big Bad Toy Store, but I was just seeing if there was any more news or info about. And the Google image search brought up the Marvel Legends cable, the shoulder-padded Marvel Legends cable, and thought that that was cable. So that body is definitely a customizer's dream if someone really wants to go for a hardcore classic X-Force, 90s Rob Liefeld cable. If ever I've seen an opportunity, quick head swap and you're done. You know what I mean? I'd definitely repurpose those guns. But in any case, I think they're a bit too expensive for my blood, a bit too expensive for my visa. I'm getting a bit too hot and heavy of late with the FOMO impulse buys. And there's so much stuff coming down the pipeline that I've got to pre-order that I'd have to maybe think twice. But they're not dropping till Q3, so maybe... I don't know. Anyway, it's a no. It's a no. I'm not spending $75 on a 6-inch figure. Stop it, Chris. Someone stop me. Tell me not to. Down in the comments below. But they do look fun. Absolute just 90s madness. Amazing. All right. Well, while we're on the subject of 90s extreme madness, here we go. Here's the McFarlane Toys Spawn and Todd McFarlane himself 2-pack. And I have no intention of picking this up whatsoever. In fact, I think it's really fucking ridiculous and egocentric and crazy that Todd McFarlane felt like he could put a figure out with his own likeness on. Because there's two real people, like proper real people, that I have as action figures. I've got the George Lucas Stormtrooper and I've got the Marvel Legends Stan Lee. And... when you talk of like geek nerddom, Church of Nerddom, iconic people to want to have in a three-dimensional plastic form, George Lucas and Stan Lee are like up there. You know what I mean? Like the pinnacle, the height, top of the mountain. And I just think it's kind of very presumptuous of Todd McFarlane to believe that he has the cachet and the significance to produce a figure of his own like that. Well, I mean, I suppose he does really. To be fair, I'm being really unfair, aren't I, on Todd? Because when you think about Image Comics and his Spider-Man work and, he created Venom... I'm perhaps being a little bit too harsh. And Spawn is huge, isn't it? I mean, it's massive. He's not a title or a character that I follow particularly, but there are people I know that are massive Spawn fans. He's had movies, he's had games. Yeah, I'm probably being a little bit too harsh on him there. But the thing that makes me laugh is the head sculpt, because Todd was happy with that. He was happy with that. He was like, oh, that's brilliant, guys. You've really captured my likeness in 3-dimensional form there. Pack it up, bang it out, and get it up for pre-order. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I suppose looking at it, you do know it's Todd, don't you? But I don't know. Whatever. I'm salty and down on McFarlane at the minute, so I'm taking any opportunity to take the piss, obviously. And therefore, I should stop, because I don't want to end up becoming one of those types of channels. But it made me laugh when I saw it. I think it's sold out. So, in fact, I'm wildly off the mark, aren't I? Because there's obviously demand for it. Although he's probably only made a small amount, so it seems like it's really popular and scarce. Anyway, stop it, Chris. Stop whinging about McFarlane Toys. Life's too short. I've said my piece. Go check out the other video. All right, well, let's jump on down to the Marvel Legends live stream that took place a little while ago now. There's been so much excitement going on with things like G.I. Joe Classified and what have you that it's taken me a while to get round to talking about these. And I'm not really in deep enough to warrant a full video or a complete look at the entire selection. There was tons of stuff that they put out there. You're not short of places to go and take a look at these, but there were a few observations that I wanted to talk about. So the mainline kind of core wave that was in the stream, which are these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 figures here, which is a builder figure wave to make the Zabu. I didn't put the Zabu picture on. One sec. Here you go, as if by magic it has appeared. I did save it to my iPad gallery, but then didn't add it to the Doobry What's It. But yeah, this is the wave with the Zabu builder figure. We've got Kazar or Kazar, because I say it Kazar, in there too. So obviously the Kazar and Zabu need a Shannon tune. It's a great builder figure, very attractive. Looks like it's got lovely articulation and a lot of opportunity. I know that's generated a lot of excitement, and I know that the Kazar has generated a lot of excitement as well, just as a good, solid kind of loinclothed barbarian character, if nothing else. But of course, Kazar's a popular character. But I just feel like these kind of 7 figures here are a really solid comic book wave from the Marvel Legends team. And I'd like to see more good, classic, solid comic book Marvel Legends waves of this nature. I suppose you could argue that because it's got a little bit of something for everyone, the fact that it's a builder-figure wave could be a little bit painful. So like for myself, for example, I'm an X-Men guy. In fact, the large majority of my Marvel Legends collecting is X-Men related, characters that strike a kind of nostalgic chord with me from my time reading the title through the 90s into the early noughties. So the Cable, I actually grabbed his separate picture. That's the only one I've pre-ordered, but it's a long overdue kind of comic book accurate Cable character there. Would I have liked to re-release a better sculpt of the 90s look one? Hence the reason why I've kind of got my eye on Cabot. Yes, I would, but I'll take this in a pinch. Will look great. I've got it's villains at the minute, X-Men villains, but I get my X-Men Marvel Legends out on my little swap out display at the top there all the time. So you could argue, like for me, if I wanted the Zabu builder figure and I wanted a Kazar to do a bit of a Savage Land kind of thing, I'd have to buy an Icarus and that Dark Winter Thor, and I think this Iron Man's a bit of a weak link overall. Characters that I don't particularly have an interest in order to complete the builder figure, which I think sucks a bit. So, interesting. So, yeah, you could argue that, but I'm definitely looking at the Cable, and I might get a Wolfsbane. I don't know. I think her face looks a bit too goofy for me. I'm not into that goofy face, but a great sculpt with the furry stuff going on. So a good solid wave there, good solid comic book wave, and I'd like to see more of that from Marvel Legends. But then also the other thing that caught my eye was this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of triple pack thing here. Loving this with the Dum Dum Duggan, the Sharon Carter, and the Nick Fury. I picked up the recent Quake Stroke Maria Hill because I sort of like I just think they fit into different, because they interact with all the different characters from all around the Marvel universe there, and I thought that was interesting. But the reason I've focused in on this one, I'm probably not going to pick it up, but the reason I focused in on this one, because I was really pleased to see the new female book that we got with the Black Widow, the 60th anniversary Avengers Black Widow, on another female figure with Sharon Carter there. Just a shame it's on that Sharon Carter, because she looks odd to me. She looks weird. The black shoes, the black booty shoes stand out really badly with the way that the ankle hinge cuts into it, and it clashes with the white. And then her face, I think her face looks like I don't know, like she's just had a bit of a bad time with an illicit habit. For a little while. I don't know, I don't like the Sharon Carter face at all. And when you talk about Sharon Carter, I don't think about the pulled back hair either. Any comic book I've read where she appears and she's with Captain America, she's got kind of flowing hair down. But I don't know, a Sue Storm head swap or something on that would solve it, wouldn't it? But the reason that it caught my eye was like, ooh, another female figure with a new book. That's promising. That's a bit of momentum, a bit of evolution there, and I'd love to see some more strong female characters coming out with the new butterfly jointed arms for female superhero figures. I'd be very, very excited to see some stuff in the X-Men range. I would quite happily dump my Jean Grey and get a new Jean Grey if they did a Jean Grey with a butterfly joint. Faux sure. Or a Psylocke, man. Dan, if you're out there, if you're listening, give me a Psylocke with that new book, please. A decent one, So there we are, a few Marvel Legends, but I definitely thought that this... there we go. I definitely thought that this comic book wave with the Zabu Build-A-Figure was eye-catching, to say the least. I could take or leave animated Spider-Man stuff. I could take or leave Carnages. Could take or leave Zemos and Arnim Zolas and stuff. There was a lot of stuff there. There was some Captain America stuff as well. So go out, hunt it out. There was a lot of stuff to suit whatever type of Marvel Legends collector you were, but that comic book wave for sure. Yeah, I think that's a nice looking wave overall. Right, let's give up on the Legends and go to my main love then. Here we are. We've got the G.I. Joe Hasbro Pulse fan stream. What do they call it? Leap Day. The Leap Day fan stream that took place so yesterday, as a point of recording this. I might even get this edited and out tonight. But I did a live stream. It's available. It's up to go back and do a VOD watch on, where I talked about the character releases that were going up for pre-order that day because they'd all been leaked. So we'd seen the Doc and the Jinx and the Torch and Night Creeper, etc., etc. So I've talked about those already, and if you're interested in my thoughts on those, go check out the live stream. Just don't worry about my watch time. You can duck out and when the random live stream waffle goes on at the end about all sorts of other different stuff. However, there was some digital render reveals that they did on the stream as well that I didn't talk about because those weren't leaked and they were revealed on the stream. So I'm going to take that opportunity now, if I may, if you don't mind. And there were 4 digital renders that they gave us. They gave us the retro Snow Serpent, the retro Eel, the retro Beachhead, and then the Ferret with Driver. And all of them look really interesting, really good. The Snow Serpent has definitely given me a little pang of buyer's remorse. The mainline one, despite the big timber cloak and the snowboard, I felt a little bit underwhelmed, and I think I might have actually preferred this retro one. There's a lot of things to like here. I like the fact that the whole face mask is black. Doesn't have the colour bit in and around there. I like the blue shiny glass in the goggles. That's nice. I like the much more vivid looking blue webbing and trimmings and what have you. Better rifle choice there. I think is that Dusty's? Was that the one that came with Dusty there? But definitely a better rifle choice than that piece of crap that they gave us the first time around. The white foot stand looks great. He's got the snow boots. I think that backpack's better than the rocket backpack with the bazooka. So I do have a little bit of buyer's remorse for the mainline one because I kind of sort of like the retro one better there. It's tickled my taste buds. I'll probably skip it. I probably won't pick up the retro one. Because I've got the mainline one. The only time I've doubled up is with the Crimson Guard, because I like the 2 different faceplate colours, the black and the silver. And I just don't think, I don't know, I'll make a decision, or I might even sell on my mainline Snow Serpent and just stick with the retro, because I don't like having a lot of repeat figures. It is an army builder though, I suppose, so I'm doing it again, folks. Stop me. Someone stop me in the comments down below. If any of my Joe Bros are watching this, they'll be like, do it. So a bit of buyer's remorse on the mainline one because I think I like the retro one better, which is a shame. What does disappoint me though is that didn't the vintage one have a little mortar? I'd have liked to have seen the mortar, and I had my fingers crossed. Kind of what would have tipped it for me would have been, and guaranteed a pickup of the retros if they'd included the mortar with him, but they haven't. So now I'm on the fence. The retro eel, fine. They said on the stream that the main difference there is that it's just a bit of the colour choices changes. So they've gone for a more vivid red and the grey and the skin tone in that kind of breakaway mask bit is different, but otherwise that's fine. Popular army builder. I think having one available on retro card back's not a bad thing because I know folks struggle to get hold of eels. The Beachhead. This is another one that's turned my head because I have the mainline Beachhead, but I kind of sort of like this one better as well. So I like the fact that he's got additional paint applications, like with the magazines tucked in the front of his jacket there. I like the splash of colour, the more vivid splash of colour, a more cartoon accurate legs, the camo on the legs there. I think his accessory selection's actually possibly better. So I certainly like that rifle, that little, even though that submachine gun is a bit wibbly wobbly flimsy. Who did I have that with? Firefly. I like that way better than the stupid science fiction nerfy thing that the original got. The pistol, that's the same as Stalker's, isn't it? But the little things like the kind of flashbangs there, and he's got a couple of daggers, and I think they look nice. And then he's got this sort of C4 pack thing. Is it a C4 pack thing? The foot stand. I don't know. Anyway, this one has also given me a little bit of beachhead buyer's remorse because I would possibly pick this one up. I don't know. But again, I need to make a decision. Am I going to sell on the old one? Because I definitely don't want 2 beachheads in my collection. This one doesn't have the beret, which, you know, I like the red beret on him, definitely. So I don't know if they keep doing this, it's going to get a little bit frustrating because I was reflecting earlier, like Scarlet and Duke, I was excited about because I hadn't bought that. I missed that very first, or a chunk of that very first wave, and didn't end up getting a Scarlet or a Duke, and so I was kind of excited about them because they were going to give me access to characters that I missed the first time round. Even the redeco version with the different shin pads, I didn't bother with. But I also kind of sort of didn't like them, or particularly Scarlet, I wasn't into it. And then they showed us the retro ones, and I was like, yeah, cartoon, comic book accurate ones. I'm definitely a person who leans much more into the vintage inspired with a contemporary twist sort of thing about classified. But these, now that they're sort of doing retro redecos of characters that I picked up, so like Recondo, for example, I said when they revealed and released Recondo, I was like, nah, it's fine, I've got one. Now starting to put me in that little frustrating position of, oh, do I, don't I, should I, shouldn't I? I imagine there's a few Storm Shadow folks who experienced that back when Storm Shadow came along. So there we go. Anyway, there's my thoughts. I'd be interested to know your thoughts down below. Or even if anyone wants to offer me a good price for a mainline beachhead, a mainline snow serpent, an attractive enough offer that I would sell them on, and then pick these up, pre-order these. And then they gave us the ferret with the female pilot, driver, rider. They used a bit of terminology in the stream, but I've just blanked on what they called her. Anyway, there's a lot to like here. I don't tend to do vehicles, but this one has turned my head a little bit. I'm reconciling it with myself to say, well, it's kind of in the same ballpark as like the Air Chariot and and Scrap Iron's rocket launcher and stuff. I don't know. I'll have to see how big it actually is in the end. But I really love the figure. This female rider. The colour scheme is really pops. I think it's going to have a great shelf presence. It's really turned my head. I love that grey, blue and white combo thing that's going on there. I think it's a really interesting colour scheme to throw into the Cobra colour palette. And I find that very, very engaging, visually striking and interesting. I'm very pleased to see some more female presence as well in the line, because it's definitely getting a bit sausage festy up there. I've just put me Cobra villains out, and I've only got the Baroness up at the minute because I've got my Dreadnoughts down here, and a little bit more feminine presence would be welcome. Although I did see a guy on Facebook giving it all that about, why did it have to be a female driver and all that bollocks. I despair sometimes. That individual is not representative of our community as a whole, and he needs to go and have a good look in the mirror and a word with himself, prick. Anyway, although, I tell you what, I did see someone, one of my Joe Bros made a good point to say it's a bit of a shame that the ferret's coming in a character vehicle set, and that they would have liked just ferrets on their own, so they could just buy a bucket ton of ferrets and just load up their existing collection on them. And I thought that was an interesting idea. But that character there, I love her kind of BMX biker style helmet thing. But the ferret looks awesome too. I mean, look at all those decals and stuff on it there. Got that blue, red, black kind of colour combo thing as well. Again, to give it a bit of shelf presence and life. All the decals giving you a bit of storytelling and stuff there. Just, really, really pops. Really great. So I don't tend to do the vehicles, but God damn it, Lenny and team, you've done it again. You've turned my head and... Well, shit, this whole video I've been talking about things that I shouldn't be buying that I probably am going to end up buying. I'm breaking my own kind of purchase restriction rules. And finally, just very quickly, while I'm on G.I. Joe, so my Duke issue 3 came this week, and I am enjoying this comic book a great deal. 3 issues in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing in terms of the artwork. The writing quality seems to be pretty good. Definitely seems to have been written and put together and targeted at the adult reader, the adult fan of G.I. Joe, which is where I feel like they should be shooting things at. And I think that's where they're going wrong with stuff like the movies, trying to make them a little bit too appealing to too broad an audience, So, yeah, really into it. But the reason I wanted to mention something is, God damn, is it driving me mad? It's going so slow. The amount of content you get in one issue and then having to wait a month, it's driving me mad. I need more. I need more faster. Come on, we're in the age. I'm a binge dude. You know what I mean? I binge watch shows. I buy trade paperbacks. Maybe that's what I should have done. Is what I usually do. Is I usually wait for the trade paperback nowadays. But yeah, I just wanted to call out. I think of all of them, Cobra Commander's definitely curious and interesting to me. But out of all of them, this Duke has really grabbed my attention. I'm enjoying it a great deal, much more so than I am a Real American Hero 300 plus. Transformers seems to be all right. Void Rivals okay, but Duke is like, when I see it come out, I'm like, yes, can't wait to get the next installment, but it will be over far too soon. And I must have reread it about 5 times, including a good close look at the artwork. So there you go. So let me know if you're reading the new Energon Universe series over at Skybound and what your thoughts are. And do you find it a little annoying that you get so little content every month and then you have to wait a whole month for it? God, even with TV shows, they drop one a week. Do you know what I mean? Okay, folks, there we go. I'll wrap that one up there. Looking at the clock, I think this is going to be a pretty long listen to your friend Chris.
Listen to your friend Chris.
This week, because kind of let a few things stack up, and then I took a detour into the G.I. Joe Classified Series stream earlier this week. So, open invite, reiterate from earlier on, please do drop down into the comments below, share your thoughts and comments on the stuff that I've shown today, and if you're getting to know me a little bit by hanging out on these videos of mine, and you see something that you think, oh, I reckon Chris would be into that, then get a link over to me, track me down on Instagram, Twitter, Discord, whatever, anything that you think may be of interest to me. I'd love to hear it. In fact, I'll put the Instagram and Twitter at name things up here for you to take a look at. But that's it for now. Thanks so very much for coming and watching. I hope you will consider coming back around these parts again sometime soon for another video. All right, take it easy. Have a wonderful weekend, folks.